Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I have a special guest with me, Caren, one of my mentorship students who just made the leap to full-time trading. Before joining my mentorship program, Caren had taken other courses but still felt lost. She knew she wanted to make money in trading, but she didn't have the strategy, structure, or confidence to execute properly. Fast forward to today, she's in full control of her trades, making consistent progress, and is now taking trading seriously as her main source of income. In this interview, we're breaking down what was working for her before joining, the key moments that changed everything, and how she built confidence to go full time. Let's get into it. Caren, let's start from the beginning. What made you interested in trading in the first place?
Well, the first thing that made me really realize that I wanted to even learn how to trade is the freedom of it. And I wanted to obviously have a better financial situation as well. So that really pushed me into going forward with that. It's been changing my life already. So that just says it all.
Yeah, I'm so happy to hear about that. Initially, you took a trading course before my mentorship. So, could you explain your experience before joining my mentorship and what was missing for you in that original course?
So, yes, before I came to you, I had taken a course with somebody else, and their course was not even as close to as informative as yours. And I just felt so lost with that course. I didn't know half of what you taught me already. Like, I didn't know how to risk management, what was supply and demand zones. I was just literally trading off of trend lines and alerts. And that was what was putting me into a failure position. I actually found your page on Instagram. I ran across a reel and I was like, oh my God, another girl trader. So that instantly made me want to see more of what you can offer for me. I went to look at your page. I saw dozens of videos of you putting out information like that is actually comprehensible pretty much. That's when I jumped and said, okay, I need to meet with her. So that's when we set up our meeting and you told me more information about your mentorship. And I was like, I need to do this. I need to do this. So that was when I took the opportunity to go ahead and get with your mentorship. And it has tremendously helped me a lot. I know so much information. At first, I was a little overwhelmed, I'm not going to lie, because it was a ton of information, but it's all the information I needed to become a successful trader that I am now.
Wow, I'm so happy to hear about that. And when you did join the program, what was different about my mentorship specifically compared to what you did before?
Your mentorship really helped me focus on the pinpoints that I needed help with the most, which is pretty much managing how I take in trades, how to get out of trades. And that was something that the other course did not at all teach me. I was literally just going off of alerts from the person that was the mentor. Yours is just so more defined. It really did help me a lot in also the OTA. I love the search bar because you can literally search up anything and everything, and that has helped me a lot. When I'm waiting for your responses, I'm like, okay, let me just search this and maybe, it's in here already for me to see. So that is the most crucial part that has advanced me so much as well with your program.
That's amazing. Originally, when you were working with your previous mentor, what point in your trading journey where you're taking alerts, you're trying to learn, when did you realize that you actually needed a real mentor for trading?
When I started losing money, when I burnt twice my account, I'm like, okay, something is not working out here. So that's when I went in search of a mentor, and I know I needed somebody that can really help me advance and get me to there. It was just like destiny to find your page because I wasn't even following like traders like that at that point yet. It just came in at the right time.
Wow, that's awesome. When you initially went into my program, what was your first impression of it?
From a beginner's point of view, it was perfectly structured. You had a lesson that explained everything from like the beginning, like how to read candles, how to identify demand zones and supply zones. So it went to really good detail actually. And I love the quizzes. Like the quizzes absolutely helped me a lot understand better. I was like, wow, this is awesome. When you're hands-on, I guess you sometimes know and learn better that way.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, perfect. So, was there a moment while you were going through the course materials when everything started making sense for you? And specifically, what clicked? like we were talking about in the previous group session, how a lot of traders, there is that moment where everything clicks and things change. So could you describe your journey with that?
When it started clicking is when I started actually getting into back testing and I started understanding better how the market trends move. And that's when I started putting two and two. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is how demand zones work. This is how supply zones work. This is how you reach A to B. That started clicking right away when I started back testing and started actually getting into how it plays out in the real time. That's when I started actually testing out my plans, my pre-market plans. I followed a lot of how you structure your pre-market plans, and that helped me a lot as well too. That's how it all played out.
Awesome. How has the mentorship and support system that I provided you help you stay on track and reach your goals?
You're pretty much like a motivator. You push us all in the mentorship program, and I love that because that's how you keep people going. I actually connected a lot with other members in the group, and we have like chatted like, oh, what's helped you or what's helped me. So that also, it builds a better community as well to reach out to each other. Messaging you also helped me as well because you would answer right away, and I love that. Like that's how a mentor should do it.
I appreciate that. In what specific ways has your trading changed from when you first started without guidance versus now?
I'm more strict on how I follow my plans. Back then, I just would be like, oh my God, as soon as the market would open and you would see, a jump up, I'd be like, okay, let me hop in. Like, no, I stopped myself from doing that. And I'm like, okay, I have to pay attention to the 9 EMA and what the VWAP is doing. So I followed that. I saw actually 3 times on repeat the video of explaining the 9 EMA entries and exits. And that actually kind of put two into perspective. So that also helped me a lot accelerate my trading when I stopped myself from doing the mistakes I was doing, like jumping the gun. So that is how I've been implementing, being more strict with my trades, following my trades, being patient is key. I was very impatient back then. I would just enter and just to enter. That was a really big mistake I was doing.
Yes, and one of the things that I notice with every trader who struggles with patience is that I don't think that their problem is being impatient because in life they could be very patient. It's just that what I think the root cause of impatience in trading is that you don't know exactly what you're looking for. Could you speak more on that?
I think it was mostly FOMO, the fear of missing out on a trade instead of waiting on the confirmations and waiting on what the market will do. That was, I believe, one of my biggest mistakes as well, not reading the market. I wait for all the confirmation. I have a copy of your confirmation list posted on my wall because I'm like, no, look at the confirmation list before you enter.
I love that. I love that. What do you think about my mindset training materials? Did that help you since you were struggling with patience and FOMO?
Yes, it did help a lot reading about like how that also comes with the psychological part of it, which a lot of people don't really talk about. The psychological part of trading and how having a better mindset, a healthier mindset can actually accelerate that.
So, Caren, you joined my program July 31st, 2024. Could you explain the timeline on how long you spent going through the course materials, when you started backtesting, when you started paper trading, and when you started live trading?
I started the program in July. I'm not gonna lie to you, at the beginning, I wasn't as consistent as going through the lessons. I would set a day that I would go to like 2 lessons and whatnot. When I started backtesting, I believe it was in November because I was already setting my pre-market plans. I kind of like jumped ahead a lesson, but then I had to go back to the lesson that was after backtesting just to kind of like go over it again. Around December, that's when I actually started paper trading and I started implementing my pre-market plans. I started noticing that it was hitting exactly where it needed to be. And a lot of it had to do with how you do your pre-market plans. And then I noticed also that I also like started charting out the same levels as you. So I was like, okay, that is a confirmation that I'm doing it correctly and I'm doing the right thing.
That is a common trait I see in a lot of my students who actually do become profitable. They'll start messaging me in the morning and being like, I made this plan before you posted it. We have the same plan.
It makes me feel like I'm getting to the successful part of it and I can't wait to actually be at your level. You're a big inspiration for me, believe it or not.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I believe it. You started paper trading in December. Did you start
Mhm.
live trading in January?
Yeah, like a couple of weeks ago, but then I got hit really bad with like this virus that is going around. But even then, I was being consistent. I was still doing my pre-market plans. I was waking up early to check out and scope the market. So regardless of me being sick and everything, but I stopped trading because I had to retrace with my health. I already took two live trades, I believe, and they were both winning trades.
Perfect. I'm really happy to hear about that. I texted you and you mentioned that you're full-time with trading. When did that happen?
That happened about like a week ago. It was a couple days before I got sick. If it wasn't for me getting sick, I would have kept it going, but due to my health, I had to like kind of step back for a second. I started live trading about a week ago already. You explained in the last lesson that if you jump in too quickly and it would be like it's not the same as paper trading, so I had to kind of like ease into it first.
With your own capital and then sizing up,
Ah.
you definitely want to go slow.
I've
So,
been starting off with one contract actually, one contract per trade.
but Caren, making the decision to go full-time with trading is huge. So what made you confident that you were ready?
When I started getting those confirmations, when I started realizing that my plans were going exactly to the T, and I know I was being strict with how I'm enter and exit, that's when I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm ready. I feel more confident now that I can go in there and be like, I can live trade my own capital. So it's all about confidence, and that's exactly how I feel right now. I feel very confident to go in the market already, live trade and become a full-time trader.
Confidence is key. And I just did one of these interviews with my student, Michael, and he
Yeah.
mentioned literally the shift from him to being unprofitable to profitable was
Mhm.
confidence. Once he got confidence, he knew his system, he knew how to take his entries and exits, and he just had confidence behind all his decisions. That's
Mhm.
when his results instantly changed. So I could agree with that. Looking back to when you first started with trading, what's one thing you wish you knew when you first started?
One thing I really did wish I had when I wasn't profitable is learning better about my risk management, because I would have saved myself from burning two accounts, from losing capital. And I feel like that is really important in trading, is the risk management, because you're risking your own capital. So you want to make sure you don't risk more than what you should be risking. And that was one important thing that I wish I knew how to do back then. That would have saved me so much money from being lost into the market.
And I would say one of my biggest edges in trading is risk management. So I definitely transfer that over to my students. Like, what were the specific mistakes you were making in risk management? Were you like letting options expire, just not using stop
I
losses?
wasn't calculating my risk, and I was putting the stop loss like way far out than what it should have been. It should have been a lot tighter, and that's how I would end up losing money, because I would wait, I would wait, I would wait. I didn't have an indication or any indicators to guide me like the 90 MA or VWAP. I was just going off of the patterns of the market. I would literally get faked out so much because my stop loss would be way too down there, with my take profit would be way up here. So that was also another big mistake that I was making. And that's how I wasn't risk managing that. I wasn't calculating my rewards or my risk ratio or nothing like that. I was just going in blindly pretty much.
And I think a big part about risk management is the strategy that you use in the first place. Because with
Right.
supply and demand, it's kind of defined. You're going to know roughly where you enter, where you exit, where you're targeting. Could you explain the difference between your previous trading process versus implementing my supply and demand strategy and the positive changes you've seen from one strategy to the other?
The strategy I was using was basically just, like I said, alerts. I didn't even know much about stocks like that back then. Now I am more knowledgeable of what stocks I should be looking at, which stocks I want to be looking at. That also made a big part of the mistakes. I didn't have a pre-market plan back then either. So that being more structured and more organized with what I want to hit in a trade, that has also helped.
Did your win rate improve?
Most definitely it did. My last live trade got $850. In the previous one, I almost had 1,000 in profit. The biggest profit I had when I was a horrible trader, I would say would be like no more than 200. And I had more capital to work with back then. And I'm using lesser capital since I'm just new to live trading. That just makes a big difference on how structuring and non-structuring is.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's interesting how you were paying for like a Discord group or alert service and
Yeah.
win rate was horrible and you were losing money versus now I have never ever given you any signal, any alert. I just taught you a system and a strategy and now you're making more money than you ever did.
A very effective system, that's for sure. It left me in awe when I was like making profit, because I I knew then that following what you taught me is exactly gonna take me there to a better trader.
If someone's watching this who's considering joining my mentorship program, what would you say to them?
I would say to go to her program. She's going to help you fix all the errors from what you were missing, and she's going to definitely take you to reach your highest potential with her structured, amazing. Your program is so detailed, so organized. You're just going to understand better that way as well.
Thank you, Caren. I love seeing your progress and how far you've come. And I'm sure you're going to go a lot further as well. This is literally just the beginning for you, starting like your first week full time with trading. So you put in the work, you stayed disciplined, and now you're in full control of your trading and seeing better results than before. So that's exactly what I want for every trader who joins my program.
Yes. And like I've been seeing it, look at your students, your other students have reached that success. And it's so inspiring to see that, to see others as well that started out the same as me to be up there. I'm like, wow, I feel grateful to be here in your mentorship. Like, I really am.
I'm grateful to have you as my student. I'm just happy that you had a good experience inside of my mentorship program, and I wanted to thank you for sharing your journey. It definitely means a lot to me.
Yes, I got exactly what I wanted out of your mentorship. Even my husband says, he's like, wow, I'm just so amazed of how much you've progressed. I'm like, it's Damaris. She's taught me so much. Like, she's a gift from God.
So is there any last thing that you want to tell the world?
Whoever's thinking about it, just go for it with your mentorship and one-on-one, because you're gonna help them succeed. With you, they're gonna become profitable.
Caren, I want you to stay in touch with me. Literally, this is the beginning. There's going to be more to come. There's going to be more struggles. There's going to be more success. So I want to be updated like every month. It's now been past your mentorship duration, like the 4 months has passed. You achieved everything that you wanted to achieve in my program, which I love. Now I want like monthly updates. Just update me monthly. Say, hey, this is how I did every month, whether you did good or bad. If you get to a point where you want to be a little bit more intense with the one-on-one, or when you're starting to take a lot more trades and you want me to review your trades or anything like this, me to help you scale up, we could always reconnect and we could figure out some sort of continuation for the mentorship program. The reason why I'm saying this is because the main thing we didn't do while you were in my program was I didn't review your trades that much. If you ever want to take action on that, I have a good option to continue for like weekly trade reviews. That's all, Caren. I hope you have a great rest of your Thursdays. Just stay connected with me, and I'm so happy to have you as my student.
Me too. I'm just so happy to have found you.
I hope you have a great day.
Me too. Bye.
Bye. If you're serious about becoming a profitable trader and want the right guidance to get there, book a one-on-one call with me. The link is in the description or on my website, damarstrades.com. Thank you, Caren, for sharing your journey. If you found this interview helpful, drop a comment below and let me know what stood out the most to you. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe for more trading content. See you in the next one.